played some more Pragmata.
Mhm.
Got a bit further in there, and hey, guess what? That game continues to be fantastic.
You know what's really funny is that I've been watching supercuts of other people streaming the game who don't have kids getting visible baby fever.
Oh yeah, that's becoming a thing. That's becoming a thing.
Just like,
yeah. It's quite interesting. So there's that happening, and there's also people getting weird about it, and I'm just like, hey, I'm experiencing where I'm like, oh, I remember. That's exactly what my kid's doing. Actually, that's legit. Hey, Diana's doing the thing, and I mean she's older, but still.
I saw somebody say that, oh, kids don't do that Hugh Diana thing, and I'm like, fuck you, they don't. They totally do that shit.
Yeah. So, I caught wind of the weirdness and looked over and went, I want nothing to do with that. People are fucking strange out there, and
far too much conversation on this here internet has been monopolized by the sub % of complete psychotic freaks.
Sure.
Who have no connection to anything in the real world whatsoever, and just do nothing but scream all day about the most awful things you've ever heard.
What I will say is this Capcom made a fucking great game, and playing further into it, it's not just the premise of like, hey, you're taking care of this little girl and you're hanging out, which is fun, but
you also shoot robots.
You shoot robots, and shooting robots is not something brand new to video games, nor is dad moding. But
I shot a couple robots.
But they've created a new thing here where when it comes together, the gameplay loop is very fun. It's very simple. And as it advances, and this is what I wanted to kind of bring up today, it's really coming together. This gameplay loop is actually fucking brilliant now that a few new mechanics have been introduced that weren't there the first time around. So where we saw earlier from that first session, from the demo, you get a feel for the beginning of, the gameplay and everything. Hacking, shooting, management of encounters in small spaces and sometimes larger spaces, but more dangerous enemies, right? Waves of flyers and missiles coming at you, etc. I talked about hacking the missiles and returning them to sender. So what the toolkit expands into after a few more hours of play is I got that down weapon, right? The bottom slot. You know how you have the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you have like shotgun laser on the left.
Yeah, big damage, you have situational, and then you have something on the down slot that I don't know what it is.
So down slot is defensive weapon.
Okay.
And the first one that you pick up is Mirage, distraction.
Oh, great.
Attack that guy over there. He's not real. Fake daddy. Right? And they get distracted by it while you can set up your play. And the brilliance of like now how some of this stuff works together is because you start to see that there's so much you can do that revolves around setting up everything coming together, and then you start unlocking there's nodes and modes, right? So the nodes are what you've seen, which allow you to do things like multi-hack, extra damage, the little yellow things that you hack through that add statuses to the result of the hack when it resolves, right? You can get things like, obviously, stagger, so the enemy stand still, or you can add something like confuse, which makes it attack other enemies, which is especially useful when they're distracted in a group. Now they're attacking each other and you, and doing tons of damage to each other, right? So that's phenomenal. There's some synergy there that plays together. You pick up a second pistol, which is a carbine, and it has a massive recoil, and it's got like 20 bullets before it has to start recharging. However, it does very little damage, but builds up heat on your enemy, and when heat builds up, they get staggered, and you can roll up to them for a QTE.
Okay.
Right? So it's a different way of stacking up damage and dealing with the threats. If you target the weak points on the enemies, it builds up heat even faster, for example.
Right.
So it's a different way to manage things.
You've now completely changed out of the stun mechanic as the hack mechanic for these guys.
You've introduced the stagger mechanic from like FF7R, for example, or FF16. You've brought stun into the game. The QTE thing you can invest points in to have the ability to like pop that onto hacks as well, so that when they resolve, you can run up and get close and do some good damage. But where now, so all of this is kind of like your brain is learning to prioritize and deal with all these things happening at the same time, and it feels really great. Then you get modes, which is hacking mode. Can shift over to something like what I unlocked is called offensive mode, and what that does is it goes, okay, the first time you hack something, you open it up, right? You see like the machine like all shows off its weak points and it's open for crit damage. The second time you hack it right away, it does way more damage, and that any shooting you do while you are hacking the damage gets amplified during the hacking process. So if you hack the first time, it gets opened up, and then you start shooting it, you're doing some damage to the enemies. If you start hacking a second time while Diana's doing it, it starts to build up essentially gray life, which you then resolve a second time for a huge damage cash out. And so you're going, oh, save your shooting for when that second hack is happening.
Right, okay.
But when you shoot, you run out of bullets eventually, very quickly. And there's a point where you're like, I have to cool down and reload. There's nothing else to do right now. So you start to realize the optimal way to play is to put yourself all the way to the end where you're right about to resolve the hack, empty the clip, and then do it. And right, take all the damage, and then while you're reloading, you're going back to pick up things around the arena. You're planning for your next approach. You're hacking some of the.
That's interesting, because it's not just like your system and then its own subsystem. You're describing a super system.
It's incredible.
Like you're doing the regular system, and then it has its own subsystem with the nodes. But no, I'm going to do this one on top of it, not underneath it.
Everything that we were talking about, where we like how the hacking and the shooting come together really like synergistically, it's way better than I thought. Like as that advances to level 2, level 3, level 4, like they've super baked them into each other. And then you get a wave coming at you that's like, oh, fuck this, Diana, hack 'em, DT, pop it, right? But I've also unlocked the ability to, if you don't want to use DT as your big like explosion, you can spend that resource to instead unlock auto hacking, where and auto hacking will go like optimal path, boop, hack resolved. It'll do it.
Is that consumable or like
it spends the Diana trigger? So you're using a very valuable resource to auto hack, but if
Diana, you got this.
If you have a moment where something, for example, there is an enemy that comes out that is a healer, and the healer will pick up and start healing enemies that you're not paying attention to.
Fucking archvile.
Right? When that's happening, you can. It's really annoying, obviously. However, if you can start hacking the healer during the healing process, the healing hack grid changes to become a maze like Minesweeper.
Oh.
And if you can get to the resolve point, you can do massive explosion damage to both healer and the thing being healed.
Isn't it funny that like we are 32 years on from the Archvile showing up in Doom 2, and if I have to shoot a gun, it's still the worst enemy type I can possibly encounter.
Things that heal the mob.
Things that heal or pick up dead guys off the floor. Just you fucking motherfucker. Always the priority. Always.
So waiting, in this case though, waiting for them to, shooting them and killing them first makes the fight harder because you're not doing as much damage with your normal shots than getting that explosion that I just described.
Oh man, that's real. That
So now
That flips it around a
so
little
you
bit.
want to
Yeah.
wait to do some damage to then cause the healing to begin, and then do the hacking while that healing, right? So
That's fascinating.
think about everything I just described all at the same time in your brain, trying to put the order together of what is worth your highest priority and what comes second and what comes third.
I saw you put up a video that was titled, where is it? It was something, and then the last word was disengage.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I was like, huh, that's not something you usually talk about in shooting encounters.
Yeah.
In a full-on action game is, oh, you got to fucking bail for a second.
Okay, the first exam: prioritize, disengage, survive. That's what it was. Yes, 100%. The way that the hardest waves of Pragmata come at you, you must disengage because you have no ammo. You've used up all your shotgun and you have no resources. The only way you're going to get more is to get the shit on the ground you've been ignoring while the fight's been going on. But you have to do so while keeping in mind there's audio cues that a laser is about to come at you now. And a missile.
Does it still have like the most outrageous boss fountaining? It's just like, because I remember that first boss room has like 15 floating fucking weapons.
Not always.
Oh yeah.
Not always. Sometimes you walk into a room that has like 1 or 2 things on the ground, and the waves you're going to deal with, you have to get the rest from the dead bodies.
Okay.
You know? So this is where managing your time, like while your bullets are reloading, I cannot stress enough how much you need to figure out how to like use that time wisely.
You know, it's funny because something I didn't really talk about during Resident Evil 9, another Capcom game, was that all the zombies in that had different behaviors, and one of which reminds me of some of the things you're talking about. There's a there's a blind zombie that reacts to noise. Any noise causes him to go completely nuts and attack whatever made the noise. But that includes like gunfire and like broken bottles that you can throw. And people figured out that if you kite a extremely large boss close to him and throw a bottle at him, he will kill the boss in a single hit.
Oh, interesting.
His damage is actually like infinite for other enemies.
That's basically like clickers, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of Last of Us was that stuff like that. Interesting. Wow.
And like he's now a vital part of the speed run.
Okay.
Because you get bottles and you use him to clear out paths for you. And like when you were describing like amping these shithead robots up so that they fight themselves for you, that's still great. I love it when enemies just do it for you.
And the rooms you get dropped in, there's shit coming at you from all sides, and sometimes you're just like, okay, you two go fight each other. I'm gonna deal with this thing over here that won't stop rolling at me. You know. You also get your. So last time I picked up a daddy dodge, as I described it, a last like
with dad time, yes,
dad time, right? Bzz, right, very cool. Like you dodged it like a cool guy, and you get to enjoy the reward. If you fuck that up, hey, guess what? We've got a little Ukemi recovery bat within for you. So your late one where you can like basically recovery roll after getting hit on the dodge too is something else you can
dad
unlock.
Within. Oh no,
the dad within. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing here, right? It's yeah.
I don't think of like a big robot spacesuit man that looks like an Isaac to go and have fucking ukemis.
Yeah.
Like, dude seems too heavy for that.
But also, this game is made by Capcom.
Yeah, it's made by Capcom.
So what do we, come on. Yeah, no, it's really fucking cool. Yeah, every new weapon I've picked up since then and every new thing I've gotten has been just like really fucking fun. I picked up a weapon that is a sticky bomb launcher. And the sticky bomb launcher makes the hacking grid, every sticky bomb you shoot makes the hacking grid shrink by an outside quadrant. So
okay.
So what is a 5x5 becomes a 4x4, becomes a 3x3, because you're shooting sticky bombs onto
Well,
the
you can
enemy.
hack real fucking fast on a 3x3.
Well, then the first thing you fight after picking it up is this big fucking heavy that's got a giant hack grid that you're okay.
Yeah, all right.
You know, yeah. So like that's the thing is they go, hey, you have the ability to do this now. Fight this fucking thing. Good luck. It's been a blast, man. And yeah, this is just like getting like another second session in and watching how well they thought about this concept of shooting and hacking and bringing the two together. It's really, really well thought out. It's much better, even a few hours beyond where you left off. And
fantastic.
Fucking love it, man.
People have been asking me about Pragmata, and my answer is I will get to it after I finish a couple of things on my plate right now.
Yep.
Pragmata is right up my alley. That is definitely something I want to go back to.
Yep. Always happy to see a new IP just fucking crushing it. And hanging out with Diana in the hub, and that kid's fucking playing hide and go seek. And sometimes
I think Capcom has really engineered like a great set of escort characters, which is like, oh, Ashley, what's she gonna do? She's gonna stand like 1 foot behind me on my right side. And if I tell her to hide in the trash, she's gonna hide in the trash. What's Diana gonna do? She's gonna just hop on my fucking back. She might as well be the same character.
We've come a long way from Emma Emmerich and Peter Puppy.
Oh man, for Pete's sake, in Earthworm Jim. Oh man,
sake, Emma Emmerich.
That fucking level is so nuts.
Emma Emmerich takes a lot of flack for being one of the worst escort missions ever designed. But but real ones remember Earthworm Jim, where the whole point was to remind you how awful escort missions were.
Bro, I beat Earthworm Jim as a child, and then I recently saw it on like one of the lists of like very hard video games. I'm like, it wasn't that bad. So I went back and looked at footage of it, and I'm like, wow, I beat this game as a child. That's crazy. That game is fucked.
Batshit. It was batshit. It was really, really awful at times.